Severed, Forest of the Damned. That's probably not how it's meant to be said, but oh well. This is a 2005 zombie movie, so we've seen plenty of zombie movies, so how does this one compare? I have to say, this was a weird film, because it kind of feels like it should have come out in the 80s, because it has this kind of weird, grainy texture to it. The quality of film kind of looks like it's old, but it isn't, it's a 2005 movie. So this is kind of a zombie film with a little bit of an eco message. The premise here is we have this kind of logging company who have decided to kind of genetically modify trees, essentially, to try and increase their yield, and basically it's turned the kind of sap into some kind of infectious virus. And then we have a group of kind of tree huggers, or sort of protesters, basically, who are trying to kind of protest this sort of deforestation and things like that, and really sort of going against this kind of group of lumberjacks, I guess. And basically an accident happens, and if someone gets sort of infected and ultimately pretty much immediately turns into a zombie. Through into this, we've got a few sort of scientists who are out there doing, obviously, this kind of experimentation on the trees, and the kind of the boss's son who happens to visit the site, and we have your zombie movie and a group of survivors. This really is a fairly sort of formulaic zombie film. We have a kind of group of survivors who are all from these, a few survivors from each of these kind of different factions. Obviously, you've got some who are lumberjacks, some who are scientists, some who are the kind of protesters. Thrown together, basically, trying to kind of run and hide, rinse and repeat from the kind of the zombies. Now, I wasn't sure if the zombies here are meant to be actually undead, or actually like kind of rage kind of infested, like 28 Days style later zombies, because the way they kind of act, firstly, seems like they're more kind of infected people, but someone makes the comment that the only way to really kill them is to chop off their heads to stop them from coming back. So that kind of leads me to believe they're actually undead type zombies. It's never really made clear, and I have to say the box art tends to make you think undead, but they don't act like that apart from that one kind of line. The makeup is, it's okay. I don't think it's anything special. One of the things these zombie films, this kind of, the infection literally takes hold of you in seconds. So it's really quick. It really kind of goes through your system very quickly. You kind of get these kind of black veins sort of going up here and stuff like that. So it's okay, but like I said, these are kind of fresh zombies. There's not much in the way of a decaying makeup and that kind of thing. The weird thing about this film is about 2/3 of the way through, this kind of group of survivors who we've been kind of following run into another group of survivors who we've never seen before. They're completely new characters. And we're meant to believe that this kind of outbreak has really only been happening for a couple of days. I mean, these people are having to survive out in the wilderness. We've got to think about food and stuff. And they've run into this other group of survivors who are actually kind of doing almost gladiatorial games with the zombies. And think, how long have they been doing this? They've only been doing this kind of like a few days, yet this kind of little lot of kind of insulated society have now, turned into such kind of like barbarians, basically, in just a space of a couple of days. And I just thought that their kind of storyline seemed like if the zombie had sort of outbreak had been lasting kind of months, but no, it's only been a few days. And it kind of really takes the movie in a kind of a bit of a strange turn, and kind of throws it off course from probably would have been a fairly mediocre zombie film into probably kind of a little bit of a lesser one, to be honest. There's nothing terribly bad about this film. I think the zombie effects are okay. I did like the sort of settings, because it's obviously it all takes place in the forest, so I kind of like the sort of forestry settings. It adds a kind of a certain kind of spookiness. But the other thing about this is kind of really goes into that as well. One of the things that bugs him in, how many people can there be in this forest? I mean, someone makes the point that there's 200 miles until the next town. So we're talking about a pretty big area. And how many sort of loggers and how many protesters can there be in this one area? And yet they seem to keep running into these zombies. I mean, come on, there surely can't be that many spread around such a massive area. So it's a bit spooky. And the other thing is that the company, basically, who is responsible for it, want to kind of cover it up. They basically have these kind of helicopters that are circling around, sniping up anyone who's trying to get out. Are you telling me that there's literally going to be permanently helicopters there going around this 200 sort of mile area, and they're going to be sniping off people? It's just a bit stupid. So this film, unfortunately, is just a little bit too sort of silly. I did like some of the characters, to be honest. I thought it did have some kind of quite nicely defined characters. And you do, I mean, some of them are obviously cannon fodder, to be fair. Then you kind of know which ones are going to go first. But nevertheless, I did kind of quite like some of the characters. They come across as quite likeable. Although there's one particular character who's obviously the coward, maybe goes a little bit too far. But overall, like I said, I think this is a probably mediocre zombie film. But that last act really just kind of throws it out a little bit for me, to be honest with you. So I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? And leave a comment, and I'll look forward to you next time. Bye for now.